Hello, I'm Kara. I hope everyone is having a great day, whether you are 5 hours away or a day away. I love you. Okay, I want to get right into this. And I don't want to be too long on this video because I feel like this point should be common sense. And I really want it to be short and sweet. Fat phobia. I am sick and tired of seeing fat phobia on my timeline and in real life from bitches that really do not understand how people work and how body types operate. Let me tell you something. You don't know why a person is fat. You don't know why a person is skinny. You don't know why a person is thick or in between. That person is just the way that they are. So when I see a bunch of people always complaining, oh my God, you're promoting obesity, you're promoting an unhealthy lifestyle just because you see a fat person eating food, that is so ignorant but violent, because you are telling someone that they don't deserve to live and exist just because of their body. And I do want to say this. Now, as a thin, disabled woman, I understand that the body positive movement has been geared towards fat women, and then we kind of shifted to fat women and disabled women that may be thin and may be underweight, and they are kind of included in the movement. So I don't understand how that may work with some fat activists, but I do know that a lot of fat women that are disabled have said that if you are thin and you're disabled, whether visibly or not, you are part of the body positive movement. Now, some people may feel, well, it's just for fat disabled women because you can be fat and have all these things as well. But some people are like, well, I mean, if she's disabled and she may have like a mental illness, or she may deal with anorexia or bulimia, then she can be part of the body positive movement. But historically, the body positive movement was made for and by fat women to combat fat phobia and the systemic dehumanization of fat bodies. So when you have a bunch of cis-het, conventionally attractive, able-bodied thin women now trying to post pictures of themselves in bikinis and say body positivity, it's appropriation, because body positivity was geared towards fat and disabled women, particularly fat disabled black women. And I understand that Jewish women also created the movement as well, so they pretty much cooperated with black women with that whole body positive movement for fat women. So I'm not trying to appropriate or anything, but I do understand, like, sometimes people include those that may not be cis or may not be heterosexual or may not be able-bodied. But I want people to stop trying to say, well, the body positive movement is for all women. No, it is for fat women. It is for fat disabled women, especially women of color. But people now want to try to co-opt the body positive movement and say, well, I mean, we can be body positive without promoting obesity. First of all, obesity is a slur. Obese is now a slur, just like the word retard. That used to mean those that have Down syndrome, or those that are socially delayed or physically delayed or mentally delayed. But now we all know that the word retarded is a slur. It's the same thing with obese. You can't be calling people obese, even though that at one point was an official medical term. Calling someone obese is a slur. So, one, no one is promoting that because that's a slur. Second of all, hell yeah, we're going to promote fat people that may have a disability. Okay, so you being ableist because people want to represent fat people that are disabled. And let me tell you something, I'm going to get a bunch of people in the comments, cussing me out or talking shit about fat people, and oh well, you don't know the statistics, and fat is unhealthy and you can't be promoting that. I'm gonna block you right then and there because I don't want to see it. That is negative, that is hateful, and I'm about to cuss you out. But instead of saving all, the hate, that I could give to you, I just want to block you because I don't want none of my followers seeing this, and I don't want to see that as well. So I will block you. But with the whole fat phobia, one thing that stuck out to me was recently there was a mannequin where she was wearing athletic clothing. So of course a bunch of people were outraged because they don't want to see a fat mannequin. A plastic inanimate object angered people to the point that they fat shamed it. Just because they don't like the idea of fat bodies being normalized and saying that, oh, well, you're normalizing an unhealthy lifestyle when it's literally a fat body in fitness clothing promoting a healthy lifestyle. So it's like you want fat people to do nothing. You don't want them to exist, especially fat women. You see fat women in fitness clothing, you either sexualize her body or you tell her that she's fat and ugly and she's lazy and all of that. So it's a lose-lose situation for people in a fat-phobic society. Another thing that I noticed is that when a fat woman is attractive and she gets a lot of attention, like Lizzo, the singer, a lot of people try to find all types of reasons to hate her or to come up with reasons as to why she's problematic. And people got mad at us because we did that with Cardi B, where, okay, we like her because she's Afro-Latina, she is an immigrant, and she was a sex worker. So we wanted her to win because of the fact that she came up from a marginalized background. But then we heard of her being colorist and saying anti-black things. So we were like, well, I really don't want a light-skinned woman to get ahead after shitting on a bunch of dark-skinned black girls, particularly dark-skinned black girls, because y'all can say, well, I mean, she didn't really call dark-skinned girls roaches because they were dark-skinned. She called them that because they were annoying. But she specifically targeted dark-skinned girls and called them roach. So you don't think that was intentional? But that's besides my point. Y'all were the same ones mad because we talked about Cardi B being problematic, but these same people now want to say how Lizzo is problematic because, oh, she stole a quote from somebody, and oh, well, she said that one person shouldn't have a job because they gave her a bad review. Here's the thing. I don't agree that Lizzo should come for a critic just because they gave her an honest review, but I feel like Lizzo is still young and a lot of us are sensitive, and she probably tweeted that out of anger or because she was upset that she felt that her music was not being appreciated the way that she wanted it to be appreciated. So I understand that she probably tweeted that out of the heat of the moment, and she wasn't really thinking straight. She was just angry. But people are like, oh my God, who does she think she is? She thinks she's all that. And I feel like because she's attractive, she's fat, and she's black, and she's brown skinned, that people feel like she does not deserve to be up here shitting on everyone. I noticed when she was on the BET performance, a lot of people were kind of silent and they kind of watched her, and she was in her little corset, wedding corset, shaking her thing and being all, cute and everything, and there was people cheering. But I kind of noticed that a lot of people were kind of unsure of how to take in this fat brown-skinned black woman on stage moving around, and it was very hesitant because I could hear people kind of like, I mean, should I clap or should I cheer? And it was very obvious that people were just shocked seeing a fat black woman like her on stage. And yes, we have Missy Elliott, but the thing with Missy Elliott is Missy Elliott, to me, yes, she was fat, but she was not fat like Lizzo, because Lizzo was like showing a lot of skin and she was in a corset and she was pretty much moving around, where I don't remember Missy Elliott ever really doing that. But this was probably the first time in BET history where, you actually saw a fat, brown-skinned black woman that was overly sexual and singing about sexual topics in a way where they had no choice but to sexualize her. Because a lot of people will try to say, well, Missy Elliott was never sexual, and she was, but a lot of people feel like, well, because Missy Elliott presented herself as queer, and a lot of times she presented herself as masculine as well as feminine, that they didn't really sexualize her the way they sexualized thinner black artists, whether they were light skinned or dark skinned, because they sexualized Lil' Kim, they sexualized Foxy Brown. But for some reason, Missy Elliott, who literally masturbated on the track, was never sexual. You know, and I feel like so many people are just disturbed by how confident and how beautiful fat women are. And I know I'm talking a lot about this, but as a black woman, because I feel the foundation of misogyny war is fatphobia, so I have to defend fat black women because they are vulnerable to violence and misogyny war. And as a black woman, I can't just sit here and let a black woman get talked down to and treated like shit. And I feel in the black community, fat black women are kind of seen as either sexual or they are seen as servants. And people say, well, in the black community, we're very body positive and we actually don't like skinny and petite women, which is not true at all. I mean, hell, like, I'm not even fat, but because I have curves, I have my dad telling me, oh, you getting fat, girl, and trying to be funny, but that's not funny. And fat phobia is so real in the black community, especially in the South, where we will praise big butts, we will praise thighs, and we will praise curves, but then they'll say, okay, but stay that way. You don't want to get too big because then you'll be fat, you know, be, you know, thin, you know, with some curves, but you can't be like thick, okay? And that's basically the unspoken rule in the black community, where it's okay to be like curvy, but you can't be fat, okay? You still gotta be skinny, but you gotta have some booty as well. So that's still thin privilege in the black community. And I did go on a tangent, but I just wanted to say, fat phobia, you really need to call it out whenever you see it. You know, I've worked with women who would always ask me, you know, Kara, I eat a lot of foods that are healthy. I work out every day. I go walking. I do cardio. You know, I lift weights. Why am I not seeing any results? And I just look at them and say, you know why? Because a lot of times that's just how your body is. Your body is fine. I understand that you don't feel good about yourself and you want to change who you are, and I can't stop that. But your body is normal. There is nothing wrong with your body. You can be fat and you can eat a lot of healthy foods and still be the way that you are, and you can be skinny and eat a lot of unhealthy foods and still be the way that you are, because it's a body type. People are fat because of genetic dispositions. Their family members are fat. It is just genetics. Same thing with skinny people. People are skinny or thin or thick because of their body type and because of the fact that other family members are that way. There is nothing wrong with who you are. And, you know, I can't really, I feel like me saying this, it is empty coming from a thinner person. But what I'm saying is, you know, as a black woman and seeing how a lot of fat black women are attacked because of their weight and because of their size, you know, I have your back, and I'm not going to sit up here and let somebody degrade you just because of who you are. And that's pretty much what I have to say, you know. Like, I want people to just admit that they hate fat women in particular, because it's like fat women cannot exist without someone shitting on them.